School Pride at BA is amazing. I would never have known. I just thought, oh yeah, everybody loves their school that they go to. Everybody is into it because it's so big at BA. Until later, when my daughter was telling me that she went to another football game and she was like, oh my gosh, nobody was dressed up. Nobody was excited about it. And really, until she said that, we were all like, why? Why don't they love their school? So, school pride is just something that I think as soon as you step into BA, you develop it and you wear it.
So I think that Buford Academy's commitment to the total person, the total student, and how they develop in their later life, and then to continue, for BA to continue to take an interest in them as adults in their careers and invite them back in so many different ways, is a critical element to making the self-confidence and the success of each individual, not in a general worldly term of success, but in their own individual achievements and success. And I think Buford Academy is fantastic at doing that.
People come to us a lot because we did switch
Yes.
middle of school years as opposed to starting at BA at pre-K, and people do come to us when they're looking at BA and say, you know, why did you pick BA? And
Yeah.
you know, why BA? Why not?
My favorite part about BA is probably the teacher community there. Seeing the teachers like Miss Price and Miss Lucky, who really care so much about the students and so much about the community there, that they are willing to do just about anything to make sure that the students understand what they're learning.
The teachers at Buford Academy are, to say in one word, unique. They have always been so involved in their children's lives. There are, of course, key teachers like Mrs. Wise and Mr. Horton and people like that. But every teacher who was at Buford Academy would reach out on many levels out in the community, whether it was at church, whether it was in community activities, festivals like the Water Festival, all kinds of events. The teachers were present in our girls' lives, and so it made a difference when you ran a race that you had a teacher running with you at the end of the 5K. So we felt like the teachers gave a positive influence on our children on many levels and gave them encouragement in many different ways.
I love all my teachers. They all put an impact in my life in some sort of way, whether it was in the classroom helping me with my work, or a little FaceTime call at home just to get help with homework.
The teacher relationships at Buford Academy develop so naturally that kids, when they're usually like, oh yeah, we don't like our teacher, it happens so quickly that they realize, oh my gosh, I have kind of a relationship with this teacher and I can go to her with anything. And my oldest daughter realized that pretty quickly and is never afraid to go after class, to text, you know, in any way communicate with that teacher and say, woof, I'm lost. And I don't think it's just about academics either. I think they do a lot of life lessons and talk about conflicts and problems that might be going on socially. And that is also super important because kids get tired of just talking to their parents about it.
I think that the harder and the more competition that the teachers drove in the classroom, the higher the bar was set, the better the kids succeeded. So I feel like they were pushed just in a different way.
In the daily aspect with the teachers and the students, or the staff and the students, is you see them at school functions and you don't see them there because they have to be there. You see them there because they want to be there. They're there supporting the students. They're there cheering them on because they have those relationships with them. I can't think of any sporting event or any academic event that there isn't a large amount of staff present that you know isn't required to be.
Right.
And I like that. I think it shows the children that they do matter and that there is a relationship with the students and teachers to where they want the students to be prepared for not just academic life, but life, and prepare them for that.
You can tell it's more than a job. They want the kids to succeed
Yes.
as much as we do.
Yes.
When you're talking a difference of, 1,500 kids versus 200 kids or 250 kids, you seem like you have a lot more one-on-one time. You get to know the students and get to know their teachers personally, not just in the classroom.
My favorite thing about Buford Academy is not only the education, but the classes are very small. I can be confused and show it in my face, and they'll know that I'm lost. If you have a question, ask it, but I can tell if you don't ask it.
The relationship with the teachers and the students, I always found extremely lucky. We were able to communicate openly with the teacher. You have their cell phones, they respond to emails. They're not bombarded with 65 parents trying to ask the same question or deal with something specific. We were able to communicate with any teachers that we needed to for special certain needs of our children or anybody else's children, and those needs were often met because it didn't interfere with the actual structure of the classroom or the education. So I always felt that the needs of the students were taken first, and that the teachers are able to adjust to what is needed for each particular student because of the sizes of the classroom.
BA doesn't just look at the class as a whole, but it also looks at it as each individual student.
We felt like for our children, when they were young, that an independent education gave them greater access to the educational variety of subjects and the depth that you would be exposed to, and the expertise of the teachers who were there. So independent education was very appealing to us on many levels. We wanted our girls to go to college. We wanted them to have a field of endeavor, whether they wanted to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom or whether they wanted to work. We wanted them to be the best educated they could possibly be. And we felt that Buford Academy at that time was offering them the greatest plethora of opportunities.
The abilities or the opportunities that are presented to the kids at BA is amazing. In a larger environment, you have somebody that plays football or somebody that does speech and debate or somebody that wants to be on the swim team or somebody that wants to play softball or robotics.
They do one thing.
They do
two.
one thing, maybe two, because there is not room for them, or they don't play well enough for this, or they don't do good for speech and debate. Well, the BA environment is completely different. It's unusual that one student does one thing without doing everything else at the same time. And they do it well, they learn it well, and if they aren't number one at a sport, they're just as accepted as everything else, and they play that sport, and they do it with pride, they do it with heart, and they do it with acceptance. And I don't think there's any single student that plays a sport or is in any kind of chess club or debate team or robotics that only does that one program.
No.
They do multiple, if not all of them. And
Multi-talented children.
very, and they do them well. The growth of our children at BA, it kind of goes back to the environment that they've been in. They were allowed to learn at a pace that was comfortable for them. If they needed to excel or wanted to excel, it was easily there. If they were struggling with something, there was always somebody that was available to help. And so that their academic growth, I think, was more relaxing, and so that they were able to learn into greater detail the skills that they needed to progress themselves.
I told Jason that I had gone to college with somebody who had graduated from Buford Academy. I had not. And I remember in college, when we were doing math homework, that Nina would be finished and I would just be starting, and that her time management skills were better, that she was likely better prepared than I was, and that she was on a more level playing field with kids from other parts of the country
Right.
than I was. And I think I vowed at that point at Clemson many, many, many moons ago that if I was ever able to have an academy education for our kids, that would be my choice, just so that they could have that extra leg up that I didn't have.
Well, I remember when you would tell me that, one of the things that you said was the learning curve that you have going from high school into college that most people have. It appeared that coming from BA that college prep was done during high school, and so that transition was a flawless, seamless transition, and they were able to go right into the writing techniques and the structure needed for the college academic environment, that they were completely prepared for that. So that first semester bump that a lot of people have going into college didn't happen for them.
Right.
Because they knew what that writing style was. They knew what they needed to do for that paper. They knew what was going to be required at that level because they'd already learned what that level was going to be.
In public school, you know, you have a guidance counselor. A guidance counselor may have 250, 300 kids or maybe more. And when my son went through public school, we never felt the connect between the guidance counselor and our son. It seems like as parents, we had to do a lot of the work. It's not like that at BA. From the moment that you come into BA, Ms. Butler is working with you to take you where you want to go. I don't feel like she pushed Chase in any direction, but she's always letting her know what options are available to her and giving her a roadmap on how to get there. And the success rate that you have for the graduating class, I believe anybody who chose not to enter the military has found placement in college. And it's because of the hard work that they do and the time that they spend, whether it's getting you for SAT prep, ACT prep, just making sure that you got the credits that you need, showing you what available financial aid is out there, and showing you big schools, showing you small schools, and just giving you every opportunity for the student to be successful in college.
Buford Academy to me was most important for my girls because of the family atmosphere. When I came to Buford Academy, I was moving from a large public school in North Carolina, and we weren't sure what I was going to do, where I was going to go, and we ended up at Buford Academy, and I thought at first, oh man, this tiny school's what am I going to do? And it turned me around. I did a complete 180. I went from number 26 in a class of 29 to number 4 when I graduated. So remembering that and how much Buford Academy did for me, it developed me as an athlete, as a scholar, and in different extracurriculars, drama, things like that. So I wanted my kids to have that same experience, and I wanted the teachers to invest in them just as they invested in me. Like I graduated from BA thinking that I was the most fabulous person on the planet, and I have the teachers to thank for that.
I love the small classes. Not only that, I love all faculty and staff. But what I really love is the school is not just a school. It's a school surrounded by family.
So parent involvement at Buford Academy, percentage-wise, is probably in the 85 to 90% of parents, grandparents, siblings that potentially have graduated and coming back. The alumni is very involved. It seems to be very important to all those involved to be part of it, to be part of something, because, like I said, it's more than just a school. It is it's a community facility. And I didn't understand that because I went to the public school here in town. So I didn't have the experience of giving back the way that these families give back. And as soon as we walked in the door, and even prior to coming in there were several families that really embraced us as a new Buford Academy family. They were unbelievably generous and nice to Chase as she came in. And just from day one, those families made us family. You know, a lot of times when you come in a new place, you're the person standing out on the edge. waiting for an invite. Well, as soon as we walked in the door, they came with open arms and brought us in. So it's not required, but made us want to give more, made our family want to be involved more. Because if you go to any sporting event, people that don't even have kids that go there and have not gone in the last 10 years are still showing up at events because they want to be part of it. It means something to them. And whether it be a function that you're having at school that may have nothing to do with athletics, maybe as easy as giving popsicles away to, pre-K kids. I see families there all the time and wanting to be part of it. People breaking away from work just to be able to get there and give back to the school.
Things like BA Family, and for those people who aren't a part of it, they may think it's cliche or just something that everybody says, but truly it's a family.
It is. It is.
And one we're lucky to be a part of.
Very lucky to be part of.
Academy Forevermore.
Academy Forevermore.
Academy Forevermore.
Academy Forevermore.
Academy Forevermore.